Most audiophiles think they are chasing better sound. Well, they aren't. They are chasing a neurological loop. You can own $5,000 of gear and still feel uneasy, not because it's bad, because the system you are inside is engineered to make enough impossible. This video is not about headphones and amps. It is about why this hobby keeps you uneasy and restless. This is the loop. Every audiophile on earth is running it. Some just pretend they aren't. It starts with a hype, a new IM, a new DAC, a new giant killer, and your brain latches onto it. Because novelty triggers dopamine. And dopamine is not a chemical of pleasure as everyone thinks, it's a chemical of pursuit. Researching gears feel incredible. Watching reviews, reading graphs, imagining how much better your music will sound. Your brain is already high before buying anything. And that's the first lie of audiophilia. You think that joy comes from buying the audiophile gear, however, the joy comes from wanting it. Then the box arrives, you unbox it, the first track plays, you hear the new details, you feel relief, satisfaction, and you're high. You think you won, but something strange happened after some days. The magic fades away, not because the gear got worse, but because your brain normalized it. Your brain treats improvement like background noise. After it learns them, yesterday's wow becomes today's normal. And once something becomes normal, dopamine stops. And here comes the itch. January is when this becomes very much visible. Every year, audiophile forums and marketplace floods with listings like barely used, mint condition, didn't synergize, going in different direction. Translation? Dopamine ran out. People did not buy wrong gears, they bought feelings that has now expired. Here's the uncomfortable part. This loop is not accidental. This is how the industry survives. Because the audiophile technology has reached its ceiling years ago. Once a DAC is transparent, an amp is linear, there's no high fidelity to sell. So you cannot get something more accurate than accurate, right? So industry thinks. And they started selling you difference. Warm, neutral, analytical, musical, organic, reference. Those words don't describe the truth, they describe flavor. Side grade dressed up as progress. Look at how the products are named. Mark II, Pro, Pro Max, version 2, Anniversary, Ultra. Your perfectly good device becomes obsolete overnight because a label has changed. Not because the sound has changed. Just the identity did. Audiophile gear is not just an equipment, it's a totem. It signals who you are. Refined, serious, in the know. And when the new version drops, your totem is downgraded. The discomfort is not sonic, it's psychological. Now the cruelest part, your ears cannot be trusted as well. Not because your ears are bad, but because they are attached to a brain that always lies. Price change perception, expectation change perception, a brand change perception. And you know what? A simple blind test can strip away all these perceptions. And that's why a lot of audiophile, in fact, all of us avoid blind tests. And the illusions are actually expensive. $200 DAC in today's market sounds transparent. Transparent means it adds no sound of its own. And if you buy a $2,000 DAC, it cannot sound more transparent. So what they do, it sounds different. Once the transparency is reached, the upgrade ladder turns into a flavor carousel. And you keep spinning because the industry keeps whispering, your system is almost there. Almost is the most profitable word in audio. And here's the truth nobody likes. As I said earlier, audiophiles are not chasing the music, they are chasing the feeling of discovery. The hunt, the research, the next box. And that's why the loop never ends. Not because you did not find the right gear, because the loop is the hobby. The moment you stop chasing novelty, the entire market loses its grip on you. And suddenly, your music sounds enough. Enough is the most dangerous word in the audiophile industry. Not because it means settling, it means the loop is breaking. When someone reaches this real satisfaction, three things happen at once. They stop reading the spec sheet, They stop refreshing the forum. They stop caring what everyone else has bought. From the industry's point of view, that person is dead. No click, no churn, no upgrades. And this is why they keep inflicting you with the doubt. And us reviewers are equally to be blamed. Look at how we frame the reviews. This new IM destroys the old one. Night and day difference. Game changer. End game killer. Giant killer. Those phrases are not about the sound. They are just about restarting your dopamine cycle and give you that itch again. Because the differences were subtle, you will not feel the urgency. And urgency is what keeps money moving. Your brain is not built for fidelity, it is built for contrast. A change in treble feels like new detail, the bass boost feels like power, wider stage feels like realism. But those are not improvements, they are shifts. And you are confusing motion for improvement, for progress. And this confusion is what fuels the side grades. You move from one tuning to another, the difference feels exciting for a week, then your brain calibrates. And now that sound is normal too. So you start craving another shift. Not because your music got worse, but because your brain stopped surprising, and surprise is the drug. This is why burn-in myth survives. Your electronics do not change, you do. Your brain learns the new signature and stops fighting it. The harsh become detailed, the thin become clean, and the bass becomes powerful. By the time return window closes, you adapted it. The system did not change. You stopped resisting it. At the top of the market, this turns into something darker. 6-figure amps, gold-plated knobs, milled aluminium thicker than your arm. This is not audio, this is jewelry. And when performance plateau, aesthetics take over. You're no longer buying sound, you're buying status. A visible upgrade when audible upgrades are gone. Here's the brutal symmetry to it. Budget audiophiles chase performance. High-end audiophiles chase status. Both are trapped in it, just at a different price point. So what actually breaks the loop? Not buying nothing, not buying everything, changing the target? Well, most of the time the biggest upgrades are not the DAC or the shiny amp etc. that you are chasing, not that $300-400 cable, but the room that you are in, the system that you are using. A small ear tip is the biggest upgrade in your IEM. A room aesthetic is the biggest upgrade for your speakers. The acoustics and the settings matter magnitude more than those amps and DACs. However, no one's talk about it. Why? Because they are boring, no resale value, no unboxing, no dopamine hit, so people ignore them. The loop needs shiny objects to feed in. Well, there's one version of this hobby that is very peaceful. One system, well set up, well understood, music becomes the point again. But this will not make a very good YouTube video, because here the music becomes the point again. Audiophiles are not happy because they lack gears. They're unhappy because the industry taught them that satisfaction is flaw. And once you see that, the loop loses its power.